Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of New York Giants Corner here at the T2T Network. Happy Wednesday night. Hope everyone's doing great. And tonight I'm going to be talking about Kadarius Toney, the feud with Giants fans, the never-ending, ongoing feud with Giants fans. Why? Because it's not that much else to talk about anyway. So, going to talk about that. I do think it's absolutely crazy. It seems to get crazier and crazier. Going to discuss that for a little bit, and then I'm going to give my final thoughts on the Saquon Barkley contract situation going into the tag signing deadline, which is coming up on the 17th. So I don't know. Hopefully they get a contract signing done before that, but gotta kind of have a bad feeling about this, to be honest with people. Before I get into the content, let me get the bells and whistles out of the way. Please hit that like and subscribe button. I always have a hard time with the word subscribe. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Give us that 5-star Apple review. Why? Because we deserve it. Honestly, we do deserve it. Where you can find the show: Apple Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Podbean, and Spotify. Also, our beautiful, wonderful website, toiletstotitles.com, has all of our videos and articles. We cover fantasy football, NFL football, college football, draft content, anything to do with football, we cover it. A few months ago, we partnered with the CFB Nation. If you can please give them a follow, greatly appreciate it. And if you love college football or you want to learn more about college football, you want to check out the CFB Nation. It's the College Football Nation, the CFB Nation. They got a great group of guys over there who know a boatload of college football. They put out great content, great videos. They cover college football content, obviously. When those players graduate and they're coming into the draft, that's when Toilet's the Titles takes over. So please give them a follow. They are awesome. Those guys do an absolutely wonderful job over there. Our sister partner network. Patreon.com/Toilet's the Titles. If you go there, you can learn how you can further support the show. And I want to give a hearty thank you to our current Patreon supporters. We appreciate you appreciating us. Thank you so very much. Last but not least, Gilded. We have our own chat in Gilded, the Gilded app. We're up to at least 150 members in the Gilded chat. We talk football all the time. We run mock drafts in Gilded. Any questions you have during fantasy season, start, sit, stuff like that, who to draft in certain rounds, always feel free to reach out in the Gilded chat. We'll get you in there, and you're gonna get feedback. But again, also my man George Reed is running mock drafts of all different types, Monday nights, Wednesday nights, and Friday nights right now. And so just reach out to me or at Toilet's Titles. And we'll get you into the Gilded chat. All right, guys, let's get to the real content over here. Kadarius Toney versus Giants fans. All right. This gets crazier and crazier and crazier. And you know what? I really don't care, to be honest. Personally, I don't really care about Kadarius Toney anymore. He's not on the Giants. I just really don't care when players are off my teams. That's it. I just wish him the best, and that's it, and I move on. But this guy doesn't go away. Giants fans won't let him go away either. And that's kind of my point about talking about Kadarius Toney. It's more like, hey, guys, fellow Giants fans, message to you and to greater society as a whole. Stop the trolling. Stop the trolling. It's stupid. Let people move on. I know a lot of people are upset about the guy. They think that, he was, I guess they were angry that he was injured all the time or that he was faking injuries. Guys, I don't know what was happening during that whole Kadarius Toney situation. Hopefully one day we find out the full honest truth about what was going on, because that was the craziest situation I can ever remember. His, little over 1 year tenure with the Giants was crazy. And I had a feeling there last season that he really wasn't injured, that the team was keeping him out on their own, maybe because they didn't want him to get injured because they were going to trade him at some point. When Pat Leonard came out, it was the draft in 2022. Pat Leonard, Giants beat writer, asked Joe Shane if they were going to trade Toney, because Pat Leonard had reported that the Giants were looking to trade Toney, and Shane emphatically denied it. And as a matter of fact, they had just drafted Wan'Dale Robinson, and he said Wan'Dale Robinson had nothing to do with Toney. I was relieved at the time because I really believed in, and I still believe in, Toney's talent. I believe that if this guy is, if he's healthy and on the field, he's a top 20 wide receiver in the NFL. Or top 20 weapon in the NFL. Because I know he can be used various ways, but the guy's kind of crazy. I don't know if he's crazy or if he's just the type of guy who, just seriously doesn't give a what, and just will give anyone's crap that they're throwing at him. He'll give it right back to them. So I think it's probably a combination of both. I don't think he's absolutely nuts. Maybe a little nuts. I don't think he's absolutely nuts. I think he's just more of a guy who, like, I've always felt like he dances to the beat of his own drum, and if anyone's giving him crap, he's not gonna look the other way. He is gonna give it back, and I think he lives to give it back. And but listen, Giants fans, I get the feeling that you guys have been, trolling him for a long time, upset about, many different things, I guess. But I have a feeling. Listen, I have a feeling he wasn't pretending to be injured on the Giants last year. I have a feeling the Giants were keeping him out. That's my feeling. I think they got tired of him pretty early on. They didn't want to put him in for whatever reason. Maybe he didn't know the playbook. I don't know what it was. But I think they had some sort of agreement with Toney that, listen, this isn't going to work. We're going to trade you. We're not going to play you. Let's kind of pretend that you're injured and give us some time, and we're going to find the best trade partner that we possibly can. And he wound up on the Kansas City Chiefs. Can't ask for more than that. And the Giants got a third and I think like a fifth or sixth round pick back as well, something like that. But it is crazy, and it's gotten really ugly too. Like Toney is like, listen, I think he's getting a little crazier with his trolling back, trolling Giants fans. He kind of like made a threat to someone today. I don't think it was a serious threat. I think he's just being an ass. But I gotta say that video he put out the other day, or that he sent, he sent I think to one Giants content creator, where it was just like his teeth and like all you can see like were his teeth and his chain, and it had that red hue. I gotta say that was pretty artistic. I have to give him some credit for that one because that was pretty cool. And then he's saying that he couldn't give an F about a Dable. I don't think he didn't say that he couldn't give an F about Dable. He said I couldn't give an F about a Dable, about a weak ass what was it, a weak ass uh, passing game or something like that. And I gotta say I actually laughed. It was pretty funny. They had the whole Super Bowl ring incident last week, I guess it was, when he got fitted for his ring, and he said this is something to the effect of this is for Giants fans, and put it on his middle finger and gave Giants fans the finger. I got to say I kind of laughed. I think he's actually a funny guy. He needs to be an adult though, and he needs to just cut the crap with going back and forth with Giants fans. You're worth a few $1 million. You're a young professional athlete. You've got a Super Bowl ring. It just enough already. And I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL takes some sort of action against him for some of the stupidity he's said over the past few days, including that veiled threat, which I don't think it was real, but someone, an athlete does something like that, they're normally going to be held accountable, and they probably should, at least to some capacity. And I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs will hold them responsible because I don't think they're the type of organization that is going to hold someone responsible for something. Chiefs fans, I'm not knocking your team. You got a great quarterback. Congratulations on the success you've had. I see your franchise as the type of place that that a player like Toney can go to and be like this, and basically he can be himself with fewer consequences, as opposed to being a member of this organization or even a member of any organization in the New York City area. It's almost unsustainable for a franchise in the New York City area to carry a character like this. But listen, a market like Kansas City, it's a lot smaller. I could see him kind of walking away scot free unless the NFL steps in and does something. And I don't want to see him suspended for a season or some crazy amount of time. Maybe just some sort of like financial hit or something like that. $20,000. I don't know, something like that. Nothing major, but he really should be held accountable for that. seeming threat that was made, and just acting like a buffoon anyway. But like I said, it's a two-way street though. Giants fans, my fellow Giants fans, the people who do the trolling, the Giants fans doing the trolling, enough already, enough. Just let the guy go. You don't know. The fact is that we don't know the full story on what happened on the whole Kadarius Toney experiment at the New York Giants, and it never even made sense that he was, someone thought that he'd be okay with this franchise in this market. It really never made sense, especially in hindsight, that he was never a fit for this organization. That they drafted him in the first round. Not that he wasn't necessarily worthy of being drafted in the first round, but that the New York Giants drafted him in the first round is crazy. Is crazy. But Giants fans, think about this. My fellow Giants fans, think about this. Um, let's get a little more depressed over here. Okay, let's get a little depressed about this. Think about this, my fellow Giants fans. In the 2021 NFL Draft first round, we could have taken Micah Parsons or Rashawn Slater, but we traded back. And remember, there were many ESPN types and beat writers who were hammering the table saying Dave Gettleman never trades back, never trades back. Well, we had Micah Parsons or Rashawn Slater sitting there for us. Dave Gettleman trades back and winds up taking Kadarius Toney. He drafts Kadarius Toney. We could have had Parsons. We could have had Slater. Trades back, takes Kadarius Toney, and basically wound up drafting a guy who's probably going to troll this fan base until he's in his grave. All right. And he was on the team for less than a year. That's incredible when you think about it. We could have Parsons, probably a generational defensive player. Rashawn Slater, who's an out of the box, like Pro Bowl tackle. Could have had one of those two guys. But no, we traded back and we got Kadarius Toney, who was with us for about a little over 1 year and is probably going to be trolling us until he's in his grave. That's so funny. He's actually not trolling me because I really don't care. I just don't want to see it get too out of hand. It's already gotten like a lot further out of hand than I ever thought. But listen, I do think it's a bit of a two-way street. Yes, I think he's ultimately, he's the athlete. He's the star. He's got to learn to turn off the social media, turn away, stop, ignore that stuff. But Giants fans, enough with trolling this dude. Enough. You think that he was faking injuries? I don't know. Maybe he was. Maybe he was faking them from day one. But I don't think we know that for a fact. There may have been other stuff going on there where he was not a fit for this organization, and they maybe didn't like him as soon after they drafted him. And especially the new regime, who was like, the Shane regime was like, we're not putting up with this crap. Kadarius, let's make a deal here. Just behave yourself. Don't say anything to the cameras. We're all going to pretend that you're injured, and we're gonna trade you as soon as we can. I have a feeling it's more in that type of vein. Just my feeling. But again, my fellow Giants fans, and message to the greater society as a whole: take it easy on the trolling. Step back from all that stuff. It's ugly. It's unnecessary. It's just crazy. And again, I'm not blaming Giants fans. Ultimately, this is on Toney. He's gone way too far. But I got to say, he is pretty damn funny, and he is pretty artistic. Anyway, this is not going to be a long video. I want to give my final thoughts on the Saquon contract negotiations heading up to the tag signing deadline, which I believe is July 17th. So like 5 days away. So by next Wednesday, by my next episode, we're going to know, it still may not be over. I mean, if he decides not to sign the deal, or if he doesn't sign the tag, he could be holding out until the start of the season, and who knows, maybe he holds out throughout the entire season. That's my fear. That's been a fear of mine for a long time with this now, for probably the past 2 months, that just had a bad feeling that he's going to take this up until I don't think Shane is going to be. No one knows what the real numbers are. No one knows what the real numbers are. But I don't think Joe Shane is going to be budging too much. Or if he maybe he is willing to give a little more by this deadline on the 17th, maybe. But I don't think it's going to be too much more. I just got a feeling, because I know he did make an offer that apparently, according to reports, Saquon was close to taking, or kind of had accepted in principle, I believe, during their bye week in last season. and then and then it didn't happen. And then we saw what happened with the running back market this offseason, and it absolutely cratered. And Joe Shane doesn't have to really do anything if he wants to. I hope he does. I've made it very clear. I want Saquon here. Quite frankly, I would be fine with giving him a Christian McCaffrey type contract. I know the vast majority of Giants fans, NFL fans completely disagree with that. Given that we're not looking to possibly pay like one or two superstar wide receivers anytime soon, like the Bengals with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He's basically like our only proven superstar on offense. I don't have a problem giving him CMC money for like say a 4-year contract and 3 of it guaranteed. I think he's got the tread on the tires. He looks great. I think he's got the tread on the tires, and I don't have a problem with it. I think he's got the tread on the tires for 3 more years. If you want to give him 3 years guaranteed, in a 4-year contract, I don't have a problem with it. If we had a Jamar Chase to worry about signing in a few years, like a year or two, I think differently of it. But that's not the situation, and there's no guarantee we're going to be able to, trade for a stud wide receiver. We might be able to, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. I don't want Stephon Diggs. I'll tell you right now. I would take Stephon Diggs, but not at the expense of Saquon Barkley. I do not like that Stephon Diggs, and that I'm bringing that up because that's kind of been mentioned, that as a possibility. Like, hey, he liked playing with Dable. Why not trade for Stephon Diggs? I don't like that Stephon Diggs is basically, basically forcing his way out of possibly 2 teams. First Minnesota and now Buffalo, where he's had a lot of success with both teams, but he's had an incredible amount of success with Josh Allen for the past few years. They've been one of the best connections in football, quarterback to wide receiver connection over the past few years. And he wants out. I don't know. I mean, maybe he just doesn't like the coach. I don't know, but that makes me uncomfortable. If he doesn't like it here, he's going to look to make it, to force a trade again. That makes me nervous. That makes me nervous. So I love Saquon. The guy's been the ultimate professional. He's been a great New York Giant. And no, it's not just about paying for a guy who's a great, rah-rah guy, a great club room guy, clubhouse guy or whatever, locker room guy. That's the term I'm looking for. It's not that he's just been a great locker room guy. When the guy is healthy, and it's really been 2 years only that he's been fully healthy on his rookie contract. Those 2 years were fantastic. And I'm sorry, you can't really prevent getting your ankle rolled, in this like he did in the second season. You can't prevent a torn ACL. You really can't. It's going to happen. If these were like, sort of some sort of like recurring injuries of hamstrings, like I've mentioned a million times over the past few weeks, then I'd be looking to move on, or at least just looking to retain him at a real steal, at a real deal at least. But that hasn't been the nature of his injuries. He's not like a constant injured guy. That's not, and I see that's tossed around a lot. I don't feel that's not how I view him. I don't view him as one of these nagging injury guys at all. So I want to see him around. I don't blame Joe Shane though. If he sticks to his guns, whatever that is, we don't even know what the real number is. But if Shane sticks to his guns and Saquon, doesn't want to sign the tag yet, or even decides to hold out the season, a la Le'Veon Bell, then I can't blame Shane. I can't blame Shane. I hope it just gets done, and if it means that Shane needs to move up in money, then I hope he does it. Because, like I said, to reiterate my point, we don't have any other superstars on offense outside of Andrew Thomas, who's a left tackle. We don't have any superstar weapons, proven superstar weapons to pay anytime soon. So let's pay the man. I don't think 3-year guaranteed is a big deal. 3 years goes quickly. It goes quickly. And I love the guy. I want to see him here. So I hope things work out. But like I said, if Shane's got to stick to his guns, if he feels like he's got to, I'm cool with that because I completely get it. I really do. But I just, I don't want to upset Saquon Barkley over here too. He's been a great New York Giant. I know the organizations loved him, and I just hope it works out. That's all. But anyway, guys, I'm going to keep it short tonight. It is late. I had to start this late tonight. Before I go, please, there's like 20 of us here at Toss the Titles and the CFB Nation. If you could please give us all a follow, greatly appreciate it. Here are the Twitter handles here at the bottom bar. I'd really greatly appreciate it. And just another friendly reminder to please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell, give us that 5-star Apple review. Why, you may ask? Because we deserve it, damn it. Oh, yes, we do. We deserve it. Oh, yes, pay the man. I agree. Now, it depends who's toils to titles is responding over here. This could be one of a few people. It might be Coach, who just wants us to pay him because he's a Cowboys fan and he wants us to spend our money unwisely, possibly. It could be Nino, and Nino's pretty unbiased. He's a Patriots fan. Uh, could be Justin. Could be Justin Stevens, and Justin's also unbiased as well. So, who's behind this banner over here? Who's behind this remark over here? But yes, I agree. It is Justin. It's my man, Justin. Justin, I love Saquon too. I agree with you, man. All right, guys, I'm out here. Everyone have a good night, and I'll catch you next Wednesday. Hopefully, the Saquon situation is resolved positively in our favor as Giants fans, who want to keep our guy, the guy that we love, a guy who said that he wants to be here. Hopefully, this can be resolved nicely by the time I'm making my next episode next Wednesday. I got a bad feeling about it, but I don't want to leave on a negative note. I don't want to leave it on a negative note. Let's just pray. Let's pray that it gets done. All right, I'm out here, guys.